Happy Saturday to you. Hope you had a lovely day. Well, NTV Weekend Edition starts right now. Tonight, concerns over Form 1 admissions.
Kuna mtoto msichana aliitwa kwa shule ya wavulana.
Government seeks to calm jitters of a new system. Also tonight, doctors reject plans to regulate their private fees as a boost for universal health coverage.
The process under which it is undertaken is quite flawed, and we shall not participate in a flawed process.
Also ahead,
a Malaysian shot himself from the mouth and it exited through the head.
Motives remain unknown as Mombasa policeman fatally turns gun on himself. Plus, Sports Cabinet Secretary on the spot again.
For you to perform as an artist in Kenya, you must obtain permission, special permission from the Minister for Sports, Culture, because he's the one in charge of culture.
Pakistani dancers who are allegedly in Kenya on account of Rashid Echesa deported.
NTV Weekend Edition with Gladys Gachanja.
And our sign language interpreter tonight is Flora Atieno. We start off with education matters. Students joining Form 1 starting next week are free to join their schools of choice as long as the ministry approves it. The National Education Management Information System NEMIS is not meant to prevent students from joining their schools of choice, but to account for the number of learners in secondary schools. The Ministry of Education says it has approved close to 26,000 transfers of Form 1 students who opted to join schools that they were not initially selected to. NTV's education reporter Sharon Baranga with more.
This is the dialogue they will get.
Over the past days, concern has been rife over Form 1 admissions, with parents fearing that the school their children have been called to is final. This has been on account of the National Education Management Information System, otherwise known as NEMIS, which is currently being used in the admission of Form 1s.
If a parent comes to ask for a chance, and as a principal you are ready to give this chance, the only thing that you need to do is capture the parent's full name, identification number, ID number, and full name and the phone number. After doing it, the parent would go and wait. It is now the work of the principal to upload this information and place a request to the Ministry of Education. Now, the Ministry of Education sitting at Jogo House will access that system, and they will be able to look at the requests that are being made and approve for you.
Parents can only receive admission letters of their children through the Ministry of Education portal and not NEMIS, as all placement and admissions must be done through the system.
So the system is open. Let the principals upload information to that. Let parents who may have received letters take this information to the school, and the principal will do his work. So there should be no cause of alarm.
The National Education Management Information System is meant to account for all learners who sat last year's Kenya Certificate of Primary Education examination. This will help the government in tracking the learners and ensuring there is 100% transition from primary to secondary schools. And in case there are gaps, then chiefs come in handy and try and find out why the learners have not reported to their respective schools.
If there are 1 million primary school kids who sat KCPE, we expect that 1 million students should be in our secondary schools. If at the end of it all, we are getting 800,000, then we should ask ourselves, where are these 200,000?
Through NEMIS, the data captured will help hospitals identify and retrieve data of learners whenever they visit health facilities for treatment under the National Hospital Insurance Fund, NHIF. It is also meant to track the students who transfer to other schools so that the ministry will also migrate the free-day secondary fee to their new institutions. However, there still remain concerns of some aspects in the system.
Kuna mtoto msichana aliitwa kwa shule ya wavulana. Hiyo pia inataka suluhu.
Principals who may have issued hard copy letters to parents have been asked to regularize the process by uploading the students' details onto the online system to fast-track the process of validation and approval. The ministry has directed that Form 1 students report to their respective schools from the 7th to the 11th of January. Sharon Baranga, NTV.
Definitely something we shall be keeping an eye on even as students join Form 1 coming week. Now to Kericho, and 5 bodies of the 56 people who perished in an accident at Fort Tenan on October 10th are still unidentified and unclaimed at the Kericho County Hospital mortuary. The police are calling on those who suspect that their kin may have been among those who perished in the crash to report to the hospital and assist with the identification of the bodies. Charity Mwangi reports that the bodies, which have been lying at the mortuary for close to 3 months now, may soon have to be disposed.
October 10th, 2018, a mangled roofless red bus and personal belongings of those who were aboard it strewn around the scene of tragedy, one that may be forever etched in the minds of Kenyans. The undesirable task of identifying bodies followed. The heartbreak was nothing short of overwhelming. Almost 3 months later, 5 out of the 56 bodies are still lying in the mortuary.
The 5 unclaimed bodies are 4 men, 4 adult men and 1 juvenile.
The situation has left many guessing as to why they have not been claimed. Kericho County Police Commander James Mugera says the hospital, on normal circumstances, would be forced to eventually dispose of the bodies. In the special case of the 5, the police is making public the information to give the families ample time to claim the bodies.
It has been a while, and we believe that it is just in order people come forward to assist us in that one, because we are unable to continue holding the bodies at the mortuary.
The bus belonging to Western Cross Express Sacco, popularly referred to as Homeboys, veered off the road while descending a steep slope. It then hit a guardrail and rolled, plunging down a 20-meter drop and eventually landing on a rocky farm. Charity Mwangi, NTV.
At the coast, a police officer shot and killed himself at Kipevu Police Post in Mombasa County. According to Kipevu Police Post OCPD Patrick Lobole, the officer locked himself inside the police post toilet and shot himself. The motive behind the action to take away his life remains unknown. The officer, Charles Ndolo, is said to have shown no signs of being disturbed, and the OCPD says that this is the first such incident at the station and that investigations are ongoing in what could have caused the tragic incident. The body has been transferred to Coast General Mortuary.
The station has served for 3 years. A combination shot himself from the mouth, and it exited through the head. He was issued with an AK-47. He reported on duty normally, and it was unfortunate that that happened. And the motive behind it is not known.
Health matters now. The Kenya Medical Association has rejected attempts by the government to impose rules that will put a ceiling on how much the medics in private practice charge their patients. KMA says the implementation will inevitably violate the rights of private practitioners to earn a decent living, and it will undermine the self-regulation mechanisms.
The hassle of getting treatment for many has for years manifested in various ways: congestion at health facilities, slow service, less than desired quality of attention, and among others, high costs. So high in some cases that many are unable to afford treatment. The Universal Health Coverage Plan aims at addressing these issues with cognizance of the importance of affordability.
The question of costs becomes very important. be it the cost of the consultations that we have in hospitals, be it the cost of medicines, be it the cost of equipment that we procure, and how then we lay them to work.
Some MPs feel that doctors in private practice have set prices that are over the roof.
There's need to review, and we mandated the board to go and review. And for us, we had a comfort. When we discussed with the doctors within the committee, we asked ourselves, the costs that were there, we looked at several of them at 2006. Are they reasonable costs? And they said yes.
We consider the ongoing process of reviewing doctors' private practice professional fees to be rushed and with inadequate input from the professionals. The association is willing to enter into a broad-based discussion on total healthcare costs, not limited to private practitioners' professional fees only, but the whole value chain in the whole health, in the costing of healthcare.
According to KMA, proposals for lower pricing to facilitate UHC is stretching into the pockets of doctors in private practice. The medics will not take the plan to cut their income lying low.
The association would like the government to clarify the relationship between UHC and private practice healthcare providers.
The medical board had called for a stakeholders meeting to chart the way forward.
We, as all the members here today, I will reiterate, shall not participate in the stakeholders meeting scheduled for Tuesday, 8th of January, and advise all our members to stay away from this meeting. The process under which it is undertaken is quite flawed, and we shall not participate in a flawed process.
The new guidelines are meant to replace the existing Practitioners and Dentists Rules 2016 with the second edition of the Professional Fees Rules Guidelines of 2006, which, among other things, prescribe the drop in the fees patients pay to doctors in private practice. In the new proposals, for instance, the specialist cannot charge more than 4,000 as consultation fees, down from the 7,500 Kenya shillings in the old guideline. The delivery patient will be required to pay a maximum of 40,000 Kenya shillings, down from 96,000 shillings they currently pay. The Health Committee had given medics 6 months to come up with reasonable prices for various kinds of treatment. This was made possible by the coming to effect of the 2016 guidelines. Eunice Omolo, NTV, Nairobi.
The National Agency for the Campaign Against Drug Abuse, NACADA, has again condemned underage drinking and selling of alcohol to those who have not attained the legal age. This was articulated when the agency's leaders visited the home of a schoolgirl who was drunk on a video that went viral on social media earlier this week. The girl is said to have consumed alcohol bought from Maguna's supermarket in Karatina town in the company of friends. The official said the purpose of the visit was to offer counsel. Now, NACADA has also said it will engage the school which the girl goes to help her resume classes. And according to NACADA, illegal alcohol consumption in Karatina has gone out of hand, and control measures and strict guidelines should be put in place to curb the vice.
Received information here about some type of alcohol that is actually killing people. It's called diamond, and I want to say we are going to take it up immediately to find out where this diamond is coming from and whether it's a counterfeit or what it is. We think that even the county government, as you license, please find out what you are licensing, because you could be licensing poison or counterfeits that will kill our people.
It's time for a far short break on NTV Weekend Edition. A lot more awaiting you right after this. Thank you for staying with us. To some good news, a Mombasa man who was reported missing after entering Tanzania on Christmas Eve has been found. Hamisi Zuma came back after he was detained in Tanzania for 2 weeks by officials.
After 11 days in police custody in Tanzania, Mombasa trader Hamisi Zuma arrived back home in wee of hours Saturday morning. The 28-year-old graduate trainee at the Best Titanium Company in Kwale was arrested on Christmas Eve while en route to Dar es Salaam to buy clothes for sale. Zuma couldn't hide his joy coming back home after a while thanking Ministry of Foreign Affairs in conjunction with the Office of the Kenya Ambassador to Tanzania for intervention.
Sikujua kama ni kitu ambacho nitakutana nao. Nilikuwa detained, but after kwenda process kutoka Ororo kwenda mpaka Tanga kwenda mpaka Dar es Salaam, at the end of the day wakarealize kwa ilikuwa ni mistaken identity. Sasa serikali ya Kenya na Tanzania ndio wanajaribu work on that ili kurealize ni kitu gani ambacho ilifanyika. So sasa tunasubiri majibu kutoka kwenye serikali.
Family members and Haki Africa Executive Director Hussein Khalid received Zuma and took him to Pandya Memorial Hospital for medical checkup. Khalid described Zuma's intervention as professional and attributed the tracing of Zuma to cooperation between the Kenya and the Tanzanian authorities.
Hawakuwa wanatoa hotuba kamili kwa sababu ndio hata wakuu wetu wa upande wa Kenya walikuwa wakitaka kujua zaidi. Ndio hilo swala hivi sasa tumeliachia serikali ya Kenya na wamesema wanafuatilia kikamilifu, watake kujua hii mistaken identity. Ni mistaken identity jina, ni mistaken identity physical features.
Zuma's wife Zaitun Chimako and his father Mohamed Mbetsa said they are elated that her husband is finally back home.
Shughuli zangu zote zilibidi zisimame kwa sababu ya kutafuta mwanangu. Watoto wangu wadogo walisema sisi hatuendi shule mpaka tumuone kaka. Sasa nyinyi mtaangalia hali ile ambayo nilikuwa nayo kama leo kijana wangu hangepatikana.
Nashukuru kwa mume wangu kurudi salama salimini. Nashukuru serikali yetu pia kutusaidia kumpata. Amerudi salama salimini.
Kaltun Jama, NTV.
Well, to something that has been making headlines of late, it is yet another strike against the office of a chief, this time round in Kilifi County, where a large mob attacked Chief David Kahindi, accompanied by his assistant and 5 police officers. The mission was to stop what is termed as a disco matanga, which the government banned through Coast Regional Coordinator Bernard Leparmarai. This was due to recent cases of early pregnancies and drug abuse in the region. Kahindi was rushed to a nearby hospital where he is currently receiving treatment. Chiefs and their assistants, who are the representatives of the presidency in the grassroots, have in the recent past suffered violence from criminal elements and members of the public who are in opposition of the execution of their role or the means in which they perform their duties.
Our aim was to kujaribu tu kudismantle hiyo, kutoa vile vyombo na kuondoka. So tukafanya hivyo. Lakini wakati tukifanya hivyo kukawa na hali ya resistance. Vijana from unknown sources walijitokeza, tunakaanza kushout kwamba hawezi kupokonywa disco yao kwa sababu wamezoea, na kama ni disco ichukuliwe basi hata mwili pia uchukuliwe. Sisi hatukuagi na wao, tukachukua tu vile vyombo na tukaondoka. Lakini kadiri tukiondoka ndio sasa wakaanza kurusha mawe, kupiga officers na wale wote tulikuwa pale.
Politics now. The referendum debate is gaining momentum with just a few days into the new year. Western Kenya leaders led by COTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli and ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi say change of the constitution is necessary to ensure equitable distribution of resources while strengthening devolution. NTV's Zacchaeus Musame with the details.
Speaking in Lugari constituency during the burial of Lugari MP Ayub Savula's daughter, Joan Shiru, Western leaders argued that constitutional change is necessary to heal the wounds inflicted by political divisions.
Hatutaki
serikali ambayo kila mtu anachukua kila kitu. Tunataka serikali ambayo italeta wananchi wa Kenya pamoja, communities zote za Kakamega na Kenya siwe na haki yao katika serikali ijayo.
Katika mkataba wetu, Coalition Document Agreement, ambayo tuliweka kwa Registrar of Political Parties, sisi kama NASA tayari tulikuwa tumesema kwamba hii katiba itabidi iangaliwe upya katika vipengele fulani.
Na ikifika kura, watu wetu wachukue kura. Mimi, na ukiwa na kalamu uandike chini, mimi, there is going to be a president 2022. Na katiba tunabadilisha. We are changing the Kenya's constitution for the purposes of creating stability in our country. Our politics is based on ethnicity.
Tungekuwa kama leo minister alikuwa MP, wakishika vijana wetu wa bodaboda, mimi namshika mashati kule bungeni na muuliza kwa nini unashika vijana. Kama minister wa education angekuwa member of parliament, walimu wa Kigoma anajua kwamba amekuwa pale akitafuta kura na walimu, anaelewa matakwa ya walimu. Katika uwezo wako.
The leaders rallied the Luhya community to support one of their own to ascend to the country's top leadership in 2022.
Jukumu ni Bwana Mudavadi, wewe shika usukani, ongoza watu. Hii mambo mengi ya boardroom, ati wewe watangula nani, wacha hiyo maneno, wewe songa mbele, watu watakuwa na imani na wewe na watakuunga mkono. Kwa sababu tutakaa boardroom mpaka miaka gani? Wabunge ambao wamekuwa na Ruto jana pia wanakuja wanasimama hapa wanasema tanga ni baya, tanga ni baya. I want to warn ANC MPs, wale MPs wa ANC, Musalia Mudavadi akiwa hapa mnasema Mudavadi ni wengi.
Wacha hii maneno ya kutuambia kila siku ati nafuata fulani because I just want development. You have it. You have CDF. Fanya kazi yako. Wewe, you are elected by the people of your constituency to serve your people, not to go na kuzurura kule bila kujua unaenda wapi.
Mheshimiwa Mudavadi, Mheshimiwa Wetangula, wote wanataka kuwa rais. Na kiti ya rais ni nini? Moja. Na mimi najua Mudavadi akiwa rais, the best person who can negotiate for Paranya on the table is Mudavadi. Si ndio? Hata mimi nilisema tayari, Agoya amesema, ati Paranya wewe unataka usimame upresident na una chama. Mimi pia nimejipanga. Usifikirie mimi naweza kutafuta hii kiti kama sijajipanga. Wewe angalia tu hapo uone Paranya ataenda wapi.
The 2022 succession politics took center stage, with the politicians present urging the Luhya community to produce one candidate, saying that will help the community to put their votes in one basket. Zakis Masame, NTV, Kakamega.
Jubilee Party Vice Chairman David Murathe now says he will move to the Supreme Court to block Deputy President William Ruto from running for presidency. Now, Murathe says Ruto has exhausted his 2 5-year term as prescribed by the Constitution. The remarks come in the wake of disquiet among leaders and residents in central Kenya who have accused the Jubilee government of neglect, and commentators are now linking the latest developments to political realignments ahead of a 2022 race. Silas Apollo with more.
The rift within Jubilee party seemed to be widening by the day. The latest indication was today when the party's vice chairman David Murathe, in his characteristic style, said that the party leadership could move to the Supreme Court to stop Deputy President William Ruto from contesting for president.
If he automatically becomes president without going for the mandate from the mwananchi, what mandate does he have? Si ni ile walichaguliwa nayo. Kwa sababu ikiwa wewe uko kwa hiyo for 2 terms, then that is why 148 says you can't run again. Najim, I want an advisory opinion. Na tutaenda mpaka Supreme Court. Sisi hatucheki na watu.
But while some may challenge the legality of his interpretation of the law, Murathe appeared to have received the support of the party Secretary General, Raphael Tuju.
I really sympathize with anybody who has got plans for 2022. Those are so far. Me, I can't even plan for next week.
Murathe's statements, the second in a span of 1 week, may not augur well with Ruto, while he this week warned those seeking to stifle his ambition by seeking Jubilee Party's endorsement. Ruto said that the endorsement for the presidency should be done only on merit. But rifts in Jubilee are not a new phenomena by now, with critics saying the evidence of the cracks were the recent remarks by Gatundu South MP Moses Kuria, who said that the Jubilee administration had neglected parts of central Kenya. And even though Kuria has since apologized, saying he was misunderstood, political commentator Herman Manyora is of the view that the statements could be a pointer to realignments ahead of 2022.
Stirring emotions by talking about the president not caring about Central Kenya, so that when the time comes, they'll be able to get a big portion of the Central Kenya vote to William Ruto as Uhuru pushes for somebody else.
Murathe says Jubilee will remain unapologetic about the handshake despite the opposition it was receiving.
Na kama kucommit crime ni handshake na kusema tuko kwa hiyo building bridges, we are guilty as charged.
Manyora says the remarks by Kuria were misguided.
The new constitution, and in fact much earlier than that, and this was, I think, brought on the scene by Kibaki, we stopped associating the president with development. These things are done in the budget. Moses Kuria is a member of the budget committee, a prominent member of that committee.
Silas Apollo, NTV.
Time for another short break on NTV Weekend Edition. A lot more coming your way, including a fire that is ongoing at Ngara Girls here in Nairobi. Stay with us.
Start something big today. Gladys Gachanja.
News just in is that Ngara Girls High School is counting losses after fire broke out at the institution this afternoon. Parents are currently camped outside the school waiting to be granted access. Mel Miendo now joins us live from the school with an update. Mel, you have also been denied access. What information do you have at this hour?
Thank you, Gladys. We're currently outside the Ngara Girls High School, and so here the parents and guardians have not been allowed to access the school, and so they're out here at the security gate. So far, we know that the principal is inside the school and also some security operations that are ongoing there. There is an indication that there was an ambulance that came here to the Ngara Girls High School, so we're not yet sure whether there are any casualties or not. Remember, we have been seeing a lot of these videos, especially on social media, throughout the afternoon into the evening, and so far at that time we were told that there were no casualties, but because we've seen that ambulance coming in here, we're yet to know whether there are any or not. And so we are here with the parents, and I'd like to bring in one of them, and his sister is actually one of the students here at Ngara Girls High School. Kaji, please come and join us here on NTV. How long have you been outside this gate?
Okay, I've been here since 7 p.m. Actually, I'm very much disappointed by the school because as a brother, also as a parent, there's no information actually we're getting from the school. Actually, you can imagine parents who are not here. Some of them actually are in Embu, Nyeri, and their kids are inside there. There's no information. We've been seeing ambulance inside. There's no feedback from the school inside. So actually, we're very, very anxious. That's making us even more like we don't know what's going on. We don't know if there are any casualties. So we don't know how our students are. And actually, there's no feedback. So we're just standing here. So I'm just asking the CS herself, like, if she had a daughter inside there, how will she feel being a parent outside here?
So, Kaji, what you're saying is from the time you've been here, from 7 p.m., no one has spoken to you from Ngara Girls?
They have spoken, yes. They're saying there are no casualties, but yet you are not yet allowed in as a parent or as a guardian, as a sibling inside the school to know what's going on. Okay? There's no feedback. We've been standing here. We've been stranded here. So you can feel the situation. There's a lot of anxiety.
How long will you be here if they're not saying anything? How long?
Till morning. I have to make sure that my sister is okay. She's going to Form 4. She just, you know the feeling how it is, and we don't know what's going on. If you really know what's really going on, that's at least the parents will calm down. You'll understand. And the major situation is, I'm not the only parent here. Okay, I'm talking on behalf of all the parents of Ngara Girls who have their daughters inside there. Some of them are not here in Nairobi. They are anxious. They don't know what's happening. So we really need feedback as much as possible. Okay, so that at least the anxiety goes down.
Yes.
If there are any casualties, they tell us, so at least our hearts can cool down.
That's Kaji, one of his sisters is here. She's a student at Ngara Girls High School, and we'll just show you how it looks. These are the parents who have been here for hours and hours on end as they're waiting to get to be told any feedback from the school. Currently, we know that they have not been told anything, whether there are any casualties or not, so they are still waiting. And many are saying they'll be here until morning as they are waiting to know what is happening inside the school. So Gladys, this is the current situation here at Ngara Girls High School. At least what we can tell is that there's no fire anymore here at the Ngara Girls High School, and so that is a good thing, but we do not know if there are casualties or not. And so we just wait to see if the Education Ministry will give a status perhaps tomorrow, or if the Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohammed will also give a statement with regards to this. Gladys.
Thank you, Mel Miendo, speaking to us from Ngara Girls High School, which is counting losses after fire broke out in the institution this evening. As she has told us, is that the fire is no longer burning, and that is good news. But now the parents have been camping outside the school, waiting to be granted access to at least find out how their loved ones are doing. But that has not yet been granted. Even journalists have been kept at bay, and very scanty information is coming from the school. Now, as soon as we get more details pertaining the same, we shall bring them to you. Now to another fire, but this time in Mombasa. 56 patients admitted at Jocham Hospital in Mombasa were evacuated when fire erupted at the X-ray and ultrasound section. The fire, which started at about 5 p.m, spread rapidly to other section of the largest private hospital in Kisauni sub-county. Now, fire brigade team from Mombasa County Fire Brigade responded and managed to put off the fire. The chief hospital administrator, James Obuye, said the fire, which was in the X-ray darkroom, was most affected and the children's wing. He confirmed there were no casualties, as the 56 patients have been evacuated to another wing of the hospital, which is not in the same building as the affected one.
In the hospital, the ward, the fire from the X-ray affected majorly the children's ward, but we have made arrangements to evacuate them to our new wing.
Na tulivyokuja hapa it was a total mess. The whole area, casualty department, pharmacy department and registration office, all ilikuwa na toxic fume carbon monoxide.
Away from that, the popular Maasai market within Nairobi's central business district was temporarily shut this morning following a dispute over daily charges between traders and county government officials. The standoff was over notice on increased charges from 50 shillings to 1,000 shillings. The market was eventually reopened after an agreement was reached. NTV's Helen Aura reports.
Business began a little later than usual at Saturday's Maasai market in Nairobi's central business district as traders arrived to locked gates. The Nairobi County government issued a notice on the increase of market fees from 50 shillings to 1,000 shillings.
Kuna department mbili ambazo zinahusika kwa hii soko. Hii sio soko tupu, ni soko ambaye iko kwa parking. Kwa hivyo pande ya parking wameamua pia, kwa sababu hawajai kutulipisha kwa miaka 10, on their department they need money from the parking area.
Mimi nakuja asubuhi, anafunga kwa njia, anateseka mpaka saa hii na bado usa kitu.
Ni soko ambao tumeteseka vya kutosha, kwa sababu nakuta kwamba leo tuko pande hii, leo tunahangaishwa, na wale wanatuhangaisha ni watu ambao wako katikati yetu, wako pamoja na wahusika wakubwa katika county council.
The leaders went into a closed-door meeting with the county officials who agreed to revise the fees to 200 shillings per parking slot, in addition to the standard city-county fee of 50 shillings. Traders who have tents or stands also ought to pay an extra 50 shillings for the stands.
Tumeafikiana kuwa soko iendelee leo na kesho, na tutaenda ofisini next week ili tujadiliane mambo kumalizia.
For a market that hosts over 1,000 traders and attracts a lot of tourism in the country, the traders now want the county government to intervene, as this is their only source of livelihood. Helen Aura, NTV.
9 Pakistani girls and 1 Indian who were flown into the country allegedly with the permission of Sports Cabinet Secretary Rashid Echesa to perform special dances have been deported. The Director of Immigration has confirmed that the 3 Pakistani girls have already been deported, while the other 7 are currently boarding flights to the countries. Lawyer Evans Ondieki said the girls were in the country legally and with the blessings of the sports minister. But as Lillian Kerry reports, this is not the first time Echesa has been embroiled in controversy, the latest adding to the numerous times he has fought in the past.
This is the club at the center of a scandal, the Bella Bella Club, sitting on the 4th floor of Lotus Plaza in Parklands, Nairobi. For the last 3 months, it has allegedly served as the workstation for some Pakistani girls who the club owners say served as dancers. Police arrested the girls as they sought to clarify if they are victims of human trafficking. At the center of the controversy is Sports Cabinet Secretary Rashid Echesa. Evans Ondieki, the lawyer representing the girls, says that it is Echesa who issued the permits.
For you to perform as an artist in Kenya, you must obtain permission, special permission from the Minister for Sports, Culture, because he's the one in charge of culture and sports. And I think that is the context in which he gave the approval.
Ondieki says that Echesa issued the girls with special permits to come into the country to promote what was termed as transnational culture.
It was within his power. The approval was given in September to operate from October, November, and December.
The documents show that the girls paid the immigration department 45,000 shillings to be issued with the permits. Ondieki had previously asserted that the girls have not extended their stay and that Echesa issued the permits as the girls were coming in to offer a unique service.
For you to get a special pass, you must demonstrate that art you are coming to perform in Kenya. There's nobody in Kenya who can perform it. They came as cultural dancers.
Director of Immigration, Alexander Muteshi, has said that 9 Pakistani girls and 1 Indian have been deported. But Echesa has not been a man short of controversies.
I, Rashid Echesa Mohammed.
His rise to national politics and even his stay at the sports ministry have been one marred with battles and allegation of ineptitude. From his remarks that spoke against NASA leader Raila Odinga as he alleged that the ODM leader was against his appointment as CS, to allegations that he had photoshopped nude photos in his battle with Kakamega Senator Cleophas Malala.
It's a very unfortunate incident that a person of CS's Echesa caliber can use us as professionals to taint the image of his colleague in the government, that is Senator Malala.
He has been on many occasions been hit at over his leadership at the ministry, as there have been various occurrences that have put him in negative light. Lately, he has been throwing jabs at ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi over allegations of 380 million shillings corruption deal as Luyaland Politics pickups team. Lillian Kiarie, NTV.
While vote counting in the DRC continues, an update on the same coming right after this break.
Weekend Edition with Gladys Gachanja.
Welcome back. Presidential election results in the Democratic Republic of Congo may not be released on Sunday, January the 6th, as expected after delays in getting local tallies ready for central counting. Now, tallying centers in Kinshasa began compiling results on Friday, with only 20% of the results being received by the Electoral Commission. Pre-election polling showed the main opposition candidates Martin Fayulu and Felix Tshisekedi ahead of ex-Interior Minister Emmanuel Ramazani Shadari, who is former DRC President Joseph Kabila's preferred candidate. The Catholic Church's Bishops' Conference stated the vote tallies showed a clear winner, a pronouncement widely seen as a warning to authorities against rigging the vote. The Church is one of Congo's most trusted institutions and represents about 40% of its 80 million population. Ida Waringa is waiting in studio with the latest from the sporting world. Stay with us. We brought to you news that Ngara Girls in Nairobi had actually survived a fire, but the parents were yet to be let into the school. They have called on the CS for Education to actually look into the matter, and she is at the school and is speaking to the press. Let's listen in.
By neighbors, by the fire brigade that is with us. The director is here with us. Yes. Yeah. And so the fire was put off very quickly. Yeah, the girls are all safe. We have obviously lost some mattresses and some property of the girls. We are taking stock of that. By tomorrow morning, we'll have some more information for you. Yeah, but I think the most important point that we need to make today is that there was a fire and that we are all safe, and our children are safe, and our teachers are safe, and the non-teaching staff is safe. Yeah, so everybody is safe. We have agreed with the administration of the school that there is enough space to accommodate all the girls. So all the girls will be accommodated in the hostels, in the other hostels. As you know, the Form 1s have not reported yet. Yeah. So there is enough space for all the girls to be properly accommodated. Yeah. And so the girls were very calm. I've been informed, and I've seen some of them. They're very, very calm. And so I think that all of us need to support them, right? We're going to be bringing support tomorrow morning, right, in terms of just the beddings that they lost. Investigations are ongoing, and the director has assured us that he'll make sure that they are quick, so that we know what the source of and the cause of the fire was. But other than that, I think today we should all just be grateful to God. Yeah, we should all be grateful to God that we don't have any incidents that would have saddened all of us. We're going to remain vigilant. Security, additional security has been provided by the OCPD, who's here, the county commissioner. Yeah. So we have additional security for the school, and that security will be present until the dormitory is fixed. Yeah, because we intend to fix the dormitory very quickly. And now we're just giving time to the director to make sure that he can carry out his investigations without any interruption. Okay? So I think that's basically it. That's the message. The message is that all our girls are safe, right? And they're going to be well accommodated, and they're calm. And so what I'm going to appeal to our parents for is to allow the school to continue with its business. Yeah? You have ways of communicating with the principal. She's going to continuously send you messages. It will be very difficult for us to allow anybody to go into the school right now. First of all, it's at night. We don't have adequate lighting there. We cannot verify who the parents are, and if all of you are parents. And therefore, you'll oblige us and allow us to look after the girls. Tomorrow, we'll continue giving information from early morning throughout the day on any developments that may develop, any developments that may occur. But the girls are safe. Right? So as parents, I think, we don't know. Investigations are being carried out, and until they're concluded, we will not know. Well, I've just said now that we lost some properties. Okay, there you go. I think the other parents have answered you, that the girls are safe, and that is the only thing that's important. Yes. Yeah. So, County Commissioner, you want to say anything else?
Thank you.
Principal?
Nadhani kitu ambacho ningependa kusema labda ningependa pia kuwajulisha kwa wale ambao wamekuja na CS wetu, wamekuja kwa haraka sana. Kuna director atawasalimia pia.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Parents, I want to assure you, just as the CS has said, our children are safe. Thank you.
Asante sana. Tuko pia na Regional Coordinator for Education, Mr. John Ololtua.
Thank you.
Tuko na Director wa Fire hapa kutoka Nairobi City County. Tuko na maafisa wa security, mnaweza inua mikono pale. Na kila mtu wako hapa, ma-principal, majirani pia hata Pangani wako hapa, wamekuja kwa haraka.
Na Red Cross pia.
Na Red Cross wako, na pia kutakuwa na social support kutoka kwa Nairobi City County, watakuja pia kuongea na wasichana kwa sababu ya ile shock ambayo labda wengine walipata. Kwa hivyo kila kitu kiko sawa. We are coordinating this operation na CS anatuongoza kwa kila kitu. Msiwe na wasiwasi.
Nauliza kama sisi wazazi.
Reassurance coming from Ngara Girls, even as the CS for Education, Amina Mohammed, has come to meet with the parents who've been camping outside the school all evening, trying to find out how their daughters or the sisters' loved ones are doing after the fire broke out in the school earlier in the evening. The fire was put out, but there was anxiety about how the children are doing. And the CS has assured that all the girls are safe. One of the dormitories was actually affected by the fire, but the girls will be accommodated in other dormitories, and more details about what could have caused the fire will be coming up tomorrow after investigations, and we'll keep you updated on the same. Now we cross over to the sporting world. Ida Waringa is here.
Thanks a lot, Gladys. Quite the unfortunate situation there about Ngara Girls, but happy that all the girls are safe. Let's move into the world of sport, where the only Kenyan Premier League match played today served a 5-goal thriller, with Tusker coming from a goal down to edge out Sofapaka 3-2 at the Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos. Well, the win sees the Robert Metano-coached Brewers go top, at least for 24 hours ahead of Sunday's action.
Sofapaka got off to a great start in Machakos with John Avire on target in the 38th minute after a free kick. This goal was cancelled out by a Timothy Otieno shot from close range in the 47th minute. Shoot! 2 minutes later, the Brewers went 2-1 ahead through a Paul Kamau header. Justine Omari then made it 3-1 for Robert Matano's charges with a header off a corner. Omari was once again on target, but in the wrong goal, scoring for Sofapaka late on to make it 3-2.
Okay.
Of course, anybody can be happy. It's rare in a football game, winning 4 matches in a row. I think the boys are doing so, and I'm proud of them. And I can ask them to continue that way. They should not relax or get excitement. This is normal in football. These are their moments, so we have to keep on working hard.
Robert Matano's charges have now won 4 matches on the trot and moved to 13, level with Mathare United, but with a superior goal difference and having played a game more.
Well, current league leaders Mathare United will take on defending champions Gor Mahia tomorrow in the pick of 8 Kenyan Premier League games lined up in different venues. Ahead of the match-awaited showdown, former Mathare United midfielder Eric Johanna, who currently plies his trade in the Swedish second division, gave his thoughts on the previous club's chances in the Kenyan Premier League this season.
It's something that can be accomplished. If they believe they can do it, they can do it. They have a good team, they have a great coach, one of the most experienced coach in the Kenyan league, and they've been doing fantastic. Last season they did fantastic, but at the end it was, I think, maybe fatigue or something that catch up with them. But this season I think they're gonna push it. They're gonna push it.
Let's move on. Curtains came down on the 40th edition of the Court Bureau Football Tournament, with Cinema FC from Maringo beating Githurai All-Stars 1-0 in the final. And as is often the case with the annual grassroots tournament, lots of sideshows and colour featured at the Umeme grounds. I was there to experience the pomp and filed this report.
The Court Bureau final saw fans throng the Umeme ground in Ziwani to witness Cinema FC from Maringo battle it out with Githurai All-Stars. Cinema's Steve Opuku scored the solitary goal in the 19th minute that eventually proved to be the difference. And with just 1 goal separating the two sides, tension grew in the second half, with most fans on edge calling for the game to end. For their win, Cinema banked 300,000 shillings in prize money. At Court Bureau, the action off the pitch is as important as the action on it, with the fan culture a spectacle on its own.
The culture, if you look how people are dressed, you know, you always have a dress code. It's called the luku, our family. If you're coming as a family, how you're supposed to dress. If you're coming as a single person, so how you're supposed to dress. The behavior, what you're supposed to eat. There's Nyaga and Ndondo place there. There's our guy who sells passion juice, very popular guy. So we have a deep-rooted culture.
With the tournament now in its 40th year and gaining traction, fans from as far as Somalia travelled overnight to make it for the event that was also graced by Harambee Stars legends such as Bobby Ogola and Matthew Otamax.
The winner is walking away with 300,000 shillings. The second place will walk away with 100,000 in cash. Third place will walk away with 75,000 shillings, and then fourth place 50,000. We are the only tournament probably in Africa that also awards the fourth place team.
The tournament will change its format from this year so as to align with international regulations, with the next Court Bureau set to be played in May 2019 instead of December, with an under-19 tournament to be held at the end of the year. 50 teams registered for the 40th edition of the annual Court Bureau tournament, whittled down to just 2. Githurai and Cinema both first-time finalists, with Cinema taking the victory. But Court Bureau is just as much about the culture, the color, the pomp, as it is about the result. For NTV, I'm Ida Warenga.
Well, Kothbiro has definitely a personality of its own. Sticking to matters of local football, the National Super League resumed after the holiday break with 14 goals scored in 5 games played across the country. Eldoret Youth FC and Kibera Black Stars played out to a 1-1 draw at the Eldoret Showground. Tony Barasa scored for Kibera Black Stars in the 82nd minute, but Anthony Chengwa equalized for the home side late on. At the Gusii Stadium, visiting Wazito inflicted a 1-0 defeat to previously unbeaten home side Shabana FC, with Zachary Gatu's goal the difference. In other matches played across the country, leaders Ushuru beat Thika 2-0, Kostima and Nairobi City Stars drew 2-2 as Bidco United thrashed Migori Youth a 4-1.
Both teams were well prepared, but we were expecting to have an upper hand kwa sababu tulikuwa home ground. So imekuwa game ngumu, but we've tried to get that 1 point.
Game yetu ya 6 ya ligi tumekuwa tukijaribu kutafuta our first win, but apparently hatujaweza kumanage, tumepata kupata draw. So tuna look forward kwa the next match ili tuweze kuona kama tunaweza get our first win kwa NSL kwa hii 2019 season.
Let's cross borders now when Manchester United booked their spot in the 4th round of the FA Cup with a laboured 2-0 win over Reading at Old Trafford. Championship side Reading started well, but Juan Mata opened the scoring from the penalty spot against the run of play. Romelu Lukaku doubled the advantage after the break, making it 3 straight matches with a goal. United have now won.
With the latest from the sporting world. Well, that's all we had for you in our top stories of the day. A lot more definitely will be coming your way even as we follow up on the situation at Ngara Girls here in Nairobi following that fire that broke out earlier in the evening. Flora Taylor has been our sign language interpreter tonight, and my name is Gladys Gachanja. Have a good night.